Hello, my name is Crystal Hoban, aka Crystal Clear Mystic, and I want to talk today about my twin flame journey. So, I think there's a lot of beliefs and assumptions out there about twin flames and what that means, and the difference between a twin flame and a soulmate, and all of these different ways of thinking, believing, understanding this concept. And the reason that I call my experience a twin flame experience is because when I had my spiritual awakening and my psychic awakening at the same time, it was triggered by this person. So I went out on a date and I immediately recognized this person from a past life. And that then started all of my awakening. It started all of my recognizing on my psychic abilities, who I was, and tapping into all of those things. And it really kind of was the huge breakdown for me. So I would say that was my tower moment of my awakening. And when I talk about it, I think a lot about how it really changed the way that I saw myself. It changed the way that I saw reality in the world. It changed everything, honestly. I can't even really remember who I was before that because it was so life-changing. And so I called this individual a twin flame because a twin flame is somebody who triggers a very significant awakening, and it causes you to kind of move into the space of making all of these shifts and changes. It's a significant, overhaul of your life in some ways. I would call it the Phoenix journey. It burns you to a crisp, and then you have to learn how to rise out of it. And that's the difference in my understanding between a twin flame or a soulmate. So a twin flame makes you want to do the work to heal yourself and get better. It triggers that in you. And a soulmate is more so somebody that you can grow with, who you learn lessons with, right? But it's not this complete breakdown of identity and then a rebuilding of identity like you experience when you come in contact with a twin flame concept. And so I've actually waited a really long time to talk about this concept, especially publicly, because there's so much, negativity about it. There's a lot of opinions about it. Everybody's got an opinion, right? Everybody's got an asshole. And so I just really guess I didn't want to be judged, because the other thing with my journey personally was that when this experience happened, I didn't know what was going on. I was so confused. I had never met somebody and then felt like I had known them in another lifetime. I was so taken back, and I literally was like, what the heck is going on? I thought I was losing my mind and going crazy. And it took a while for me to rein it in and recognize what was happening for me. So labeling it and understanding it from this perspective, and the spiritual awakening perspective, the psychic awakening perspective, really helped me to kind of ground back into what was happening and make sense enough so that I could move forward in some ways. I've learned a lot on my journey with this being kind of what started my awakening. And one of the things that I've learned a lot about, and I think I see this a lot with other clients that I work with and other people, is that, they have this experience with somebody that they would classify as a divine counterpart, is another word for it, or twin flame. And they, talk about how it's you feel safe with this person almost immediately. It's an instant comfortability, and it's somebody you don't even know. It's very unspoken, it's very unconscious, and there's this draw to this person that's very unexplainable. And a lot of clients will come in and talk about their own experiences around this, and they'll talk about feeling they need this person to come back, or feeling this needs to run its course in some ways. And when I talk to other spiritual advisors, guides, psychics, things like that, a lot of them believe that the twin flame experience, is what I'm going to call it, is really about learning to love yourself and learning what in you still needs to be healed to be able to come into your full self and to be whole on your own. So a lot of the times I've seen that the twin flame comes in when someone doesn't feel whole on their own, and it comes in to help you recognize that you don't need somebody else to complete you and make you whole. And that is like the whole purpose of this journey, right? Is that at the end of it, it's recognizing that this person coming back or not doesn't have anything to do with how you are on your own and how you feel by yourself and the wholeness that you're capable of experiencing on your own. And so many people will come in and talk about like how that needs to happen for them to be able to feel like this journey was worth it or real. And the reality is that is still wounding that's coming up to be healed. So, this experience comes up for you to truly do like the deeper healing and to heal, like a lot of the time it's attachment wounds, and it's wounds about not being good enough or not feeling good enough. And many of us have like had this feeling that we needed somebody else to complete us. And this interaction happens to teach you that you don't. To teach you that you are okay and great and wonderful all on your own, and you don't need anybody else to complete you or to make you worthy or to make you lovable, right? And I think that's probably some hard stuff to learn, especially when you've been running your life like that for so long. Like me personally, I, had always thought that I needed a partner to be happy. When I had the partner, then I would be happy. I would feel fulfilled in life, right? All these things. And the truth is that's not true. It was something that I was brought up to believe, and it was something that I continued to tell myself. But the fact that I need somebody to make me happy, or like once I have somebody in my life that I'm going to be happy, it's just not true. And, I've seen this with other people where it's like, once I check these boxes, I have the house, I have the family, I have the kids, I have all these things, I'll truly be happy, right? And if you're not happy without those things, you're not going to be happy with those things. It's an inside job, really. And the other thing that I think is really important to talk about here when it comes to like the twin flame journey is that it really comes into your life to remind you who you are, to remind you how strong you are, to remind you what you are capable of outside of everyone and everything else. And, there's a lot of healing that comes with it, like healing self-doubt, healing the worries about what other people think. A lot of the stuff that has to be healed has to do with like people pleasing and codependency and things like that. And so I'm not saying that it's easy, nor is it fun. Okay, let's be real, not fun. But it does bring up these things for you to heal them. These things are triggered in you to bring them to the surface for you to heal them. And another thing I've kind of noticed is that many people who experience this have an unhealthy way of being in love. And what I mean by that is, and I saw this firsthand with myself, is like this very obsessive way of loving people, where it's like you find someone and it's your main focus. It's all you can think about. Everything else falls to the wayside. Your life and who you are and your personality becomes like completely embodied by this person and surrounded by this person and affected by it, right? And there's this enmeshment even with like emotions and how you feel, and like if they're upset, then you're upset, right? If they're good, then you're okay. Like there's this very obsessive way of loving, and it is probably one of the hardest things to heal and break. And I can say that firsthand because it was not easy to break, and also facing that part of myself and having to acknowledge that that's something I was engaging in was really difficult as well. And a part of me didn't want to like admit that I didn't feel good enough on my own and that I needed somebody else to like feel that way for myself. That was hard. And so I just want to acknowledge that it's not the easiest thing to heal these things, nor is it the easiest thing to do the work to move past it, but it's so worth it. And on the other side of it is this feeling of wholeness. It is this confidence that you have inside yourself that like cannot be wavered. It cannot be moved. And you know, when you are able to finally get to a place to heal this and move into healthier ways of functioning and being in relationship and loving, you know, you are able to then have healthier relationships where you feel fulfilled, right? Those obsessive ways of thinking and being with partners is not fulfillment. It's expecting someone else to fix you. It's expecting someone else to fill the spaces that you're struggling to fill yourself. And so this whole journey has really taught me like how to do that for myself and how to fill my own cup and how to feel whole on my own and happy on my own without anything else external. Me by myself standing here in front of you today, right? And that is where happiness is. It's not in what we have. It's not in how our life looks. It's how we feel on a day-to-day basis. And more specifically, how we feel about ourselves, how we talk to ourselves, how we think about ourselves. That directly reflects and affects everything around us. So I guess I want to know if this resonates with you or if you've experienced some of these things. If you have any questions about it, I'd be interested in hearing them in the comments and I can go down and respond to them. If you have questions about this and you want me to talk about other specific species more or specific topics more in this, I would love to do that. So please let me know and I'll tend to those as well. But I want to acknowledge that it's a difficult journey to be on and it takes a really long time to come out the other side. And there is so much deep shadow work that needs to happen to be able to come out the other side. And, you know, it's possible. It's painful, but it's possible. And if you need help with it, I got you. I am an embodied empowerment coach, so I can help you kind of understand the blocks and move through some of these things and help you figure out where you're stuck and what you need to kind of move forward. And maybe we need to shift some beliefs. A lot of shifting beliefs needed to happen for me personally to like come around to this point. But there is a way out and you don't have to stay in this lack of feeling of wholeness forever. But the end of the journey looks like a high confidence. It looks like you knowing who you are. It looks like you walking towards your dreams without question. It looks like you standing strong in yourself, all by yourself, without anything else needing to be perfect or completely aligned in front of you. I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the comments. Take care.